Howdy, guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes, and welcome to night number 49 of the Overnight Feed Recaps for Big Brother Season 26. Hey, good Friday to all of y'all. It's Friday. Means yesterday we had an eviction. We've got a new HOH. We're going to talk about it all. First of all, let's talk about the episode itself. Another exciting episode. AI BB Arena, or is it BBAI Arena? It doesn't matter because it's the last one we've had of the season. We had the final arena competition, and Rabina saved herself by winning the comp last night, pulling herself off the block. It was that competition we saw a couple of seasons ago. Michael, actually, the comp beast Michael, lost in a double eviction, got sent home after his harness broke on this same competition here, where the rope's wrapped all around the structure. You have to undo it, untangle it, and then race over and finish off. So have enough rope to reach and all that. Fun competition. Now, again, we saw it 2 years ago with Michael. Second time we've seen it on Big Brother. Definitely seems like it was an event that favored Rabina. But you know what? And she won it, and she looked like she was doing well throughout the entire competition. But look at this behind me. Rabina finishing up over here. Chemo not too far behind. Chemo was pretty close to winning this thing, pulling himself off the block instead. But it came down to Rabina. So we then had a vote between Chemo and Joseph. We saw Joseph getting voted out of the house by a 6-3 vote. A little controversy, a little bit of a last minute flip with that, appears like as well. Now, it's interesting that the 3 votes to evict Chemo came from Angela and Leah and Cam, who were, I guess, voted against the house. They're all so worried about voting with the house. Those 3 voted against the house, voting out Chemo. So now they've got to deal with the fact that they voted out someone who is still in there. Again, seems like there were some last minute changes. We'll talk about that in just a second. All right, now, as far as the eviction itself, before we get into the live feeds, I feel like Joseph went home not because of strategy necessarily, although I'm sure people would argue there's some strategy there, but I feel like Joseph went home just because of personal friction with other house guests, with him saying that he was playing the game so well and just rubbing people the wrong way. So, yeah, I think that was the main reason. If you say, why did Joseph lose? I think it was just a personal friction. People just didn't like how cocky he was. But we did have the last minute flip. It sounds like McKenzie and Chelsea both changed their original plans and voted to boost Joseph instead. Now, what's interesting, if either one had voted for Chemo, it would have been a tie. And then surely Quinn would have broken the tie by sending Chemo out the door, right? So each and every person who voted to send Joseph out the door has to be thinking that they could have flipped the game all on their own just by changing that vote. Now, it was McKenzie and Chelsea who changed the votes. McKenzie says at one point it was because Chemo gave such a great speech as the eviction speech. Maybe, maybe not. Chelsea says the same thing. I think Chelsea was just looking for an excuse to vote out Joseph, and it was provided. Someone came up to her right beforehand saying, hey, we're changing it or whatever. I'm not really sure. I wasn't able to catch it, but I think Chelsea basically thought, or is at least claiming, that the house had flipped, and that's why she chose to flip over as well. She talks to Quinn about that a little bit later. It doesn't matter. Joseph is gone. Chemo survives to fight yet another week. We'll see if he does the same thing this week. I personally think that breaking up the trio of T-Core and Chemo and Rabina might have been a more strategic move for most of the people in this house. But really, Quinn and Leah are the only ones that are really seeing their immediate game hurt by Joseph being booted out the door. But again, long-term, boy, that trio is going to just continue to grow in strength as the numbers around them continue to reduce. We'll see if anyone does anything about it going forward. All right, let's talk about the feeds, because we have a new HOH in the house. I guess new. Not new to winning HOH, but certainly new this week. The HOH for the week is Chelsea. Number 2 for Chelsea. Not the first person to repeat this season. Angela has that title. So now Angela and Chelsea have both won twice. In fact, Chelsea a little bit later says, yeah, this is my second time. And Angela's quick to point and said, yeah, I got two HOHs. Yeah, you got 2 as well. So congratulations for keeping up with me. She didn't say it just like that, but basically that was the way it was implied. But yes, Chelsea has won HOH. An HOH that I don't think she won it. I'm not sure that she really needed it at all. And I'm not sure that it really benefits her game that much, but sometimes you win even when you don't want to. I'm talking to you, Bowie Jane, from last season. And now we got Chelsea the same way. It sounds like the event was based on these 40 or so videos that all the house guests were watching Wednesday night, trying to memorize everything. They were asked questions about whether different videos or events in those videos took place before or after other events from other videos. You had to step up or step down. We've seen that kind of competition before. It sounds like the house guests had this thing on lock, that they had this very well memorized, that they were all doing very well in the questions. At the end, they finished in a 4-way tie for first between Chelsea and Cam and Chemo and McKenzie. So those four all there at the end with a tiebreaker question. They were asked something, how long in minutes was, someone I think said that it was, how long did all the videos combined play or something like that. Not sure, but so how long did something last of some event? Chelsea said later that she knew the answer. She knew what the answer was, but she tried to throw the competition by guessing super low. But the other three guessed over the correct answer, and it was one of those guess as close as possible without going over. And turns out Chelsea was the only one who didn't go over. So she wins it by default. Now, if you're going to throw a competition and you know about what the time actually is, what the correct answer is, isn't it easier to vote over so that you know that you've lost by default? She didn't do it. So now Chelsea wins this thing instead. What are the chances that one of these other three may have thrown the competition by intentionally going over? They were making fun of Chemo because I think he put 36,000 seconds or minutes or something, minutes, which, yeah, it didn't last that long. He says later he put an extra zero onto it. Maybe one of those three house guests that all went over was not trying to win HOH either. I have a feeling McKenzie wanted to win. Cam and Chemo, you would think Chemo would want to win, right? But maybe not. Maybe based on who he saw up there, surely he would have tried to win. I would not have felt safe with the other three up there, but we'll find out. We'll see if it comes up later. But Chelsea wins, even though maybe she didn't want to. So she is our new HOH. All right, with all that being said, let's talk about the feeds, because we had one-on-ones and we certainly had a lot of conversations about the nominations that are going to take place today. Now, before the HOH competition, after the TV episode, the live episode was over, before the HOH competition, the feeds did come back for a little bit, and we got a few conversations there that we need to cover. We've got Quinn talking to Cam. I think they're in the bathroom downstairs. Quinn is saying, Angela? Really? Thinking that Angela is the one who flipped to send Joseph out of the house, and seeming a little peeved at that. Cam was quick to correct him, say, no, it wasn't Angela. She voted to send out Chemo, just like planned and everything. He's saying it was actually Chelsea and McKenzie that flipped. And I think Quinn seemed a little astounded that those two picked, maybe more so that Chelsea in the end chose to send out Joseph more than anyone else. I can't say I'm surprised. Chelsea and Joseph, not necessarily the bestest of friends in this house. So I think she wanted him out anyway, but the plan was not for her to do that. So yeah, Quinn, a little surprised to hear that it was McKenzie and Chelsea that flipped on this house for this vote. All right, we also have Chelsea talking to Chemo and T-Core. She's saying that her vote against Joseph, it wasn't a game decision. She says, Chemo, it's nothing to get back game. I just love you. I didn't want you to go anywhere. I decided to put personal feelings over game. I didn't send Joseph out because it was a better game move or anything else. I just love you, and I couldn't send you out of the house. So she's trying to make sure that they understand that she voted to save Chemo, and hopefully that carries over a little bit as well. As we find out later, she's HOH, so maybe she doesn't have to worry about it too much anyway. But she does say that before the HOH competition. Meanwhile, we've got McKenzie talking to Rabina. McKenzie's worried that Cam will think that she and Chelsea played him by flipping. She's saying, Cam wanted to be on the right side of the house. Well, suddenly last minute, Chelsea and I both flip over. We send Joseph out, which fine, but that means that now Cam voted the wrong direction. So she's worried that Cam's going to hold that against her. He had said his main goal was to vote with the house this week. Well, it didn't happen because a couple of people flipped and didn't have time to inform him before they did it. All right, we've got Angela talking to Leah. She's saying that she's feeling bad about voting against chemo. We've got some people doing a little damage control, right? Because they were on the wrong side. She's saying she feels bad about voting against chemo, but saying that she already talked to chemo and that she explained to him that she voted that way because that's what she thought the House was doing. And she was just didn't think there were any votes to save chemo. So she was trying to protect her game and certainly didn't have anything to do with chemo himself. I kind of think that may be the case. She got talked into voting that way, and then she still ended up on the wrong side of the House. But she's telling Rabina she's already talked to chemo and explained it, and chemo seems okay with it. All right, with that, the feeds eventually do cut. They were off until, I don't know, about 10:30 or so Houston time. Yeah, 8:30 or so Big Brother time. The feeds come back, and we discover that Chelsea has won HOH. We've got Chelsea talking to Leah and Rabina and McKenzie, saying they're in the pedal room. She's saying, look, I tried to throw it. I didn't know they were going to be such bad guessers. I tried to throw it at that point in time. Now, if I'm Leah and Rabina or MJ, any one of the three, we've had this talk about girls' alliances and everything else. She's saying that she tried to throw it even while Cam was still up there. Chemo's kind of being included in girls' alliance, so I won't count him. But while Cam was still up there, she was willing to potentially let him have it. I'm not sure if that would sit perfectly well with me, but I think she's trying to downplay the threat maybe that she was in the house. I'm not sure, but yeah, Chelsea saying she tried to throw it and it just didn't work out all right. Eventually, Angela comes in and they all, as they talk, realize that everyone in this house has now won some kind of competition. A couple of them have won a couple of HOHs. Rabina and McKenzie have won BBAI arenas, as has chemo. So everyone has won something in this house that they can be kind of proud and excited about. And congratulations. It certainly makes it easier when you have that extra BBAI arena every week for one more person to get a chance to win something at. But yeah, they're realizing everyone's won at least once and had their high moment of the season. All right, we've got T-Core alone in the rock bedroom, I believe, just saying that, hey, Chelsea winning HOH could be best case scenario for me. That she feels like that's probably going to be okay, that Chelsea will protect her, and yet it still means that T-Core doesn't have blood on her hands this week, and that she can play for HOH the following week. So T-Core feeling that this may be the best possible situation. And with that being said, we now start one-on-ones in the bumper room lounge because Chelsea hadn't gotten her HOH room yet. So they start with a whole lot of one-on-ones to talk about what's going to be happening today at the nomination. We start off with Cam and Chelsea talking to one another. Chelsea right off the bat saying, Cam, you're safe. You're not going to get put up. So I hope you understand that. Chelsea mentions that she really thinks it's going to be Angela and chemo going up on the block. But then she's saying that her target is actually Leah or Quinn. I don't know if she's referring to a backdoor opportunity. Chelsea a little waffling back and forth as far as the people on the block. Are they actually her targets, or is she going after someone else? Little hard to keep track of, but telling Cam that Angela and chemo are going up. Leah, Quinn, one or the other will likely be the renom choice if the veto is ever used. Cam is thinking that Angela could easily go home this week and then chemo go home next week, that he would be perfectly fine with that. Seems to play in everyone's plans. He's thinking that Leah is certainly a good renom option. Maybe not put her up as a nomination to start with, but if Chelsea needs a renomination, at that point Leah could go up. He does tell her that he thinks that if Leah goes on the block to start with, that she probably would survive that vote. And now she's going to be coming after Chelsea. So he's trying, I think, to convince Chelsea that Leah maybe isn't a good primary nomination at this point in time, which creates a little bit of issue as well, because Chelsea then vocalizes that she's worried that, hey, you and Leah, why would you even say that about me being the target of her and everything? She says it because it doesn't matter, because you're going to vote for Leah no matter what. You're going to vote Leah to stay even over myself. And Cam say, well, hey, are you confused? What's going on? Then I would not do that. But Chelsea certainly bringing to the forefront her concern that maybe Cam is still a little bit tighter with Leah than he is with Chelsea. Remember, she's vocalized over the past week that she's worried that Cam may just be playing her with the words he used and may not be that serious about holding on to her game-wise or personal relationship-wise, either way. So we've continued to get these the love triangle, love quadrangle, because McKenzie's in the mix somewhere as well. But she's telling Cam, I'm not sure you would save me over Leah. And he's saying, you're crazy. Yes, I would save you over Leah. I'm not that kind of commitment to Leah. There's no way. It's not going to happen, Chelsea. So he's really questioning her. He says, it kind of hurts that you would even say that. But she does mention it. Cam is saying that he thinks that Chelsea's biggest threats right now are probably Leah and Angela and possibly Quinn in terms of people who would maybe put her on the block if they were to be HOH. So he is mentioning Leah's name, just not as a primary nomination. But yeah, those three as the biggest threats to Chelsea. He's telling Chelsea to kind of follow up from her concerns. He's saying, look, I want it to be you and me and T-Cord. Those are the final three I want. So don't be thinking that I'm trying to protect Leah or anything else. It's you and T-Cord I want to take to the very end. So yeah, she told him to be safe, but they still had a little friction as they discussed these things. All right, we've got Angela and Chelsea now talking on a one-on-one. Angela reminding Chelsea that they did give each other their words that they would never put the other one up on the block. Checks can be bounced in the Big Brother house, as they say. I'm not sure that particular promise Chelsea is going to be holding on to, but Angela's certainly expecting that that's going to be the case. Angela follows that up by saying, I've played an honest game. I haven't lied to anyone the whole game. I've played it with integrity. And oh yeah, by the way, we do have our little promise between the two of us. I hope you'll honor that and all that. So she's certainly making sure that Angela is aware that Angela remembers that promise they made to each other. She is saying that she doesn't want to be a pawn, that she has been on the block 4 times already. She does not want to be a 5th. She's saying that there are others who haven't even been on the block yet. And so why should she go up for a 5th time when there's others who haven't even been up yet? She also is more or less begging Chelsea to please protect Angela. Please don't put me up, but also protect Leah. I don't want Leah going on the block either, so please watch out for. Well, if she's implying that someone who hasn't been on the block yet should go up, and she doesn't want it to be Leah, that would leave a whole lot of targets of T-Cord. It's the only one that fits that mold. So yeah, she's telling Chelsea, please protect Leah, but don't put me on the block either. She uses as an argument not to put her on the block that she does not want to go to jury house because she wants to stay on TV so that her grandkids can watch her 3 days a week on TV. Well, I understand you wanting that, but it's a pretty desperate little plea at that point in time. Everyone's got people that they want to see them on TV, right? Angela saying, my grandkids, they aren't going to see me for the next month if you send me to the jury house. I think they'll survive. All right, we've got McKenzie and Angela talking to each other. Chelsea is saying, I keep saying Angela, not Chelsea. McKenzie and Angela talk. McKenzie and Chelsea talk to each other. Chelsea is telling McKenzie, saying, you're safe. I feel good with you. I wasn't sure with the friction between McKenzie and Chelsea about Cam if that would carry over into how Chelsea handles these nominations. But she's telling McKenzie, you're safe no matter what this week. You're going to be fine. She's saying that she wants to protect McKenzie and T-Cord and Cam. So again, now we've got 4 people that Chelsea's talking about that she protects no matter what at this point in time. McKenzie is telling Chelsea that Leah, hey, just in case you didn't know this, Chelsea, that Leah was planning on voting Chelsea out over Cam, keeping Cam voting Chelsea out when they were both on the block together a few weeks ago. Remember, Cam won the veto eventually and all, but she's saying, yeah, Leah was planning to send you out the door. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And there will be a little discussion about that a little bit later between Leah and Chelsea. So McKenzie reminding her about that or making her aware of that. Neither one of them thinking that Leah, when it came right down to it, would do a whole lot to protect either one of them if they were on the block or if they were in trouble. Saying, yeah, she may say some things, but when it comes right down to it, she's not going to stick her neck out for either one of us. So yeah, a little concern there with Leah's relationship with these 2 ladies. All right, we've got Rabina and Chelsea talking to one another on a one-on-one. Chelsea is saying that she doesn't want to put her or T-Cord on the block, either one. Notice she didn't say chemo. Yeah, Rabina, you, T-Cord, yeah, I don't want to put y'all on the block at all. She does say, I also don't want to put up Cam or chemo, but that there's a lot of people who want chemo on the block. There's at least 3 people that want chemo on the block. And I don't know if she's referencing Leah and Angela and Joseph, since they all voted out chemo or tried to. But she's saying, look, I don't want to put you or T-Core on the block, Rabina, certainly. Don't want to put Cam or chemo up, but there are at least 3 people who want chemo out of the house. If I don't consider putting him up, they're going to get mad at me. So I have to deal with that as well. But she is very much emphasizing, saying, but whoever goes up alongside Angela, it's not going to matter because Angela is the target. Everyone wants Angela out. Angela will go home this week. Now, remember this. Chelsea did not want to win this HOH. I think Chelsea is now trying to do everything possible to avoid getting any blood on her hands, to have anyone targeting her. And so as a result, I think she's going to try to want to go with whatever she thinks the house wants, whether it benefits her game or not. I think she just wants to avoid too much issues this week, which is all fine and dandy. But it seems like this season, the weeks where the HOH has wanted to try to avoid any blood on her hands, to have an easy peasy week, such as T-Core, are the weeks that have been the most chaotic and where they've had the most issues and the most the most non-easy weeks of all. We'll see how it goes for Chelsea. But yeah, she's saying, look, I don't want to put up chemo either, but there's certainly people in the house who want that to be the case. But Angela's a target. Whoever goes, she says, whoever goes up against Angela this week, it's a perfect week because they're not going home. Angela is the person that everyone's going to go after. Pawns go home, right? We say it all the time. Pawns go home. All right, you've got Quinn and Leah talking each other. Quinn and Leah. We've got Quinn and Chelsea talking to each other. Chelsea's explaining that she flipped that vote. She voted to send out Joseph because she thought others had flipped in the house. And she didn't think that Joseph had the votes to survive. And she said, the last thing I wanted was to have, just me and Angela on the other side or something. She said, that's the last thing I wanted. I only did it because everyone came to me last second, or some people came to me, and I thought Joseph was going home no matter what, and that's why. Quinn is saying that he understands, no hard feelings about it. He's saying, look, if it was pre-planned, if this was part of some grand scheme, he says, I would have expected Cam to be part of it as well. The fact that Cam still tried to vote out chemo shows me that y'all weren't planning this ahead of time. She said, no, it's just last second. I didn't think he had the votes, and so I was just trying to go with that. So he's cool with that, at least when he talks to Chelsea about it. She's talking about how they're both talking about how Joseph hurt his game by talking too much, by being a little arrogant, a little cocky in the way he talked. Yeah, I think so too. Both of them are saying that the other one deserves to win this game. They've played the game so well. Quinn refers to Chelsea, says, you're like Daniel Reyes. I've met Daniel, incredible person. She's so friendly. I understand why she did so well. Referring to Danielle as a beast, and that she's just like Danielle, and so trying to kiss up to Chelsea a little bit here. All right, we've got Leah and Chelsea talking. Leah saying that her being against Chelsea earlier in the season, remember, McKenzie pointed this out. Hey, she wanted to get rid of you over Cam. And Leah's confronting Chelsea about this, or at least explaining it. She's saying, look, me being against you, or she's not trying to deny it. She's saying, yeah, I was upset. She said, yes, I was going against you early in the season. She says, but it's only because Tucker had said that you were saying bad things about me. You were throwing me under the bus, making a lot of references to me, that you were coming after me. Tucker said all of that. And so, yeah, I was coming after you, but I didn't have anything personal. I just, as bad as you feel knowing that I was doing that, I felt bad because I thought you were doing that to me. So she's explaining herself to Angela, or to Chelsea, about that. She's saying she hopes that it's water under the bridge at this point in time. She's also saying, when they're getting back to this Cam, again, Chelsea a little concerned about Leah and Cam. She's saying, look, I've made no promises to Cam. I think Chelsea said, didn't you say that you would do anything possible to protect Cam, which obviously means sending me out the door as well? And Leah says, no, I never said that. She said, I've made no promises to Cam whatsoever. She's saying having Cam in the house doesn't benefit my game nearly as much as having you in the house benefits my game. So yeah, don't be thinking that me and Cam are any kind of final two or anything like that. Chelsea, after all this, seems convinced. She tells Leah that she wants Leah in her top 5. She wants to go to a final 5 with Leah, that she trusts her, that she wants to work with her, that they're all good with all this past stuff. Leah's saying that if it came down to it, if she had won HOH, she would not have put Chelsea on the block, and she doesn't think that Quinn or McKenzie, either one, would have put Chelsea on the block. That Chelsea needs to be thinking about who would have targeted her in terms of making her picks for this week. Chelsea is saying that Angela had told her to put up Quinn, and also that Angela had said, put up someone else who hasn't been on the block yet, which she said, basically, who is that? You or T-Core? There's not many choices, but Angela was very much suggesting someone who hadn't been on the block yet should go up alongside Quinn. So again, she's kind of pointing out that throwing Angela under the bus, saying Angela wanted Quinn up. She wanted maybe you or T-Core up as well. So she's pointing that out. She's saying that Angela is begging not to be put on the block this week. But having said that, the entire house wants her on the block, so Angela can beg as much as she wants. It's probably going to happen that she goes up. Chelsea is saying that who she is putting on the block isn't necessarily who she is targeting, that she's just putting up people who won't target her just because she nominated them. In other words, she's putting up a couple of pawns, it sounds like, knowing that they won't come after her. I think T-Core may have suggested something like this earlier in the day. I'm not sure. Again, we hear her saying that she wants Angela out, but then we hear her saying that she just put them up because they won't come after her. I just don't know that Chelsea's explaining herself well, or maybe there's a little uncertainty. But by the end of the evening, I do think Angela is her primary target. But she's saying, I just put up people who won't come back after me because they go on the block. But then she says again that Angela and Quinn are the nominations, or Angela and Chemo are the nominations, and that she doesn't want the veto used. And Leah says, well, fine with those two. If it's Chemo and Angela, I won't use the nomination. I won't use the veto. She used the veto on Angela last week, but she's made it clear that was only to get Angela to jury. Now that jury has been announced by Ainsley at the end of the episode last night, Leah's making it clear that, hey, her obligations to Angela end at that point. That now she doesn't care if Angela goes home. Well, she may care, but she's not going to do anything to protect Angela. And that includes she is not going to use a veto to pull Angela off the block, she's telling Chelsea. All right, we get to check out Chelsea's HOH room. For the second time, she gets an HOH room. Pics of her brother and sisters, a letter from her sister, music from Justin Timberlake. So everyone suitably, cute, that's great. Food and drinks and fashion, all your standard stuff. But we did get to see her HOH room. All right, we've got afterwards more one-on-ones taking place. T-Core and Chelsea talking. Chelsea is saying that Angela and Chemo are most likely the nominations, but she says she needs to make sure that Chemo knows that he is safe no matter what. She doesn't want a repeat of last week with Quinn, where T-Core is all upset that Rabina and Chemo both went on the block. Chelsea is saying it's Angela. Chemo's going to be up against her. Yeah, he's on the block, but it's up against Angela. He is safe no matter what. I'm not going to do like Quinn did last week. So she's trying to make T-Core feel as comfortable as possible with that. She's saying, I am perfectly fine with the veto being used. If you win the veto, if whoever wins the veto, if they want to use that on Chemo, I have zero issues with it, T-Core. I will put up Leah at that point. So she said, I'm not like Quinn. I'm not going to insist on the veto not being used. I want it to be used. I want Chemo to be pulled off the block. That is perfectly fine with me. She says if Angela takes herself off the block, that she might put up Quinn instead. I think she's referencing a scenario maybe where Leah would win the veto, pull Angela off so you can't put Leah up. So at that point in time, with those two out of the picture, Quinn would potentially go up and have something like that. Now, if Angela is truly the target and Leah is the backup, as Chelsea is implying, why not put both of them up to begin with, so that if either one of them wins the veto, they can't take the other person down. And as a result, you send one or the other out the door if they are the biggest targets of the week. I'm not really sure. And then you avoid getting T-Core or Rabina or Chemo offended with you because you put one of them up. It seems like a cleaner way to proceed. But who does clean in the Big Brother house this season? So yeah, she doesn't sound like she's going to do that. All right, later, T-Core is telling Chemo that, hey, it's going to be Angela on the block. It could be you up against her. I hate to tell you, but it could be you up against her. But if the veto is used, the renomination would be either Quinn or Leah, probably more likely Leah. And that she's saying, look, it should be Quinn, but Chelsea's trying to protect Quinn this week because Quinn protected her last week. So she's kind of paying him back for that. So Quinn is off the table unless things just work out where there's no one else left. She said, other than that, though, it's going to be Angela. It's going to be Leah. And you should be good against either one, Chemo. It should be Angela this week, unless Angela wins veto. And then we'll see what happens. All right, we've got more T-Core and Chelsea talking. Chelsea is saying that Angela had suggested putting someone on the block that hasn't been up yet and also begging to protect Leah, which leaves T-Core as the only option. So certainly Chelsea making sure that T-Core knows that Angela more or less pointed out her name as someone to nominate this week. Chelsea's thinking that the people in this house that would protect her are probably T-Core and Chemo and Rabina and Cam. Well, if those three and Cam are there to protect her, why are you putting one of them up as a pawn? But yeah, she's saying, I think the three of y'all plus Cam are the ones that would protect me in this house. T-Core's asking about the Girls Alliance, saying, are you down with it, Chelsea? And Chelsea's saying, I think it's a good idea. I'm just not sure if all the women are on board with it just yet. But she's saying that, hey, if it's all the girls and Chemo, then yeah, I'm okay with it. T-Core brought up that topic 2 or 3 times while she was talking. Chelsea would respond quickly and then move on to something else, and T-Core kept bringing it up. So T-Core definitely wanted to keep that on the forefront of Chemo and all the ladies working together, protecting her home bodies, right? Her Rabina and Chemo. Chelsea is saying that she wants Quinn to go home more than the other guys, but that she doesn't want to be the one to do it. Again, she doesn't want blood on her hands that's going to affect. We're in the jury phase. Now you got to worry about offending everyone else who's left in the house. Yeah, you could make some big move, take out some big target, but then are they going to vote for you at the end? It's a whole nother level of thinking that we've got now that we were in the jury phase. So yeah, she's fine with Quinn going home. She just doesn't want it to happen on her watch. She's saying now that she does want Angela gone, that is her primary target this week. She's saying if Angela comes off and it's Chemo versus Leah, and it came down to a tie, that Chelsea would absolutely break the tie and send Leah home and protect Chemo. Chelsea is saying that T-Core and Rabina and Chemo are going to control the vote every week. Now that it only takes 3 people to vote someone out of the house, and those 3 people all have a vote, that they should be able to run the house. So why keep them? I know you're trying to avoid getting blood on your hands, but why keep them? But she does mention that. She says, there's other people in the house who want to break y'all 3 up because of that. Not me, though. I have no problem with that. Y'all have my back, so I've got y'all's. We'll see how that continues on. She's saying that that's what other people want, and she's trying to prevent it. Chelsea is also saying that she would never put up Cam herself. She's just not going to do that. But if someone else did, she would more than willingly vote with the house and send Cam out the door. So there's not any kind of connection that would keep her from sending him out the door. She's just not going to do it this week. She's not going to do it on her watch. All right, we've got Quinn and Leah talking a little bit. They're talking about Angela versus Chemo on the block as being the most likely 2 that are going up there. Quinn is thinking that Chemo should go of the 2. Leah is thinking that Angela, and isn't that interesting, him kind of wanting to protect Angela at this point? Now that she's on jury, no matter what, I think there's a little less incentive to send her out the door. But Quinn is saying, yeah, those 2, Chemo should go. Leah's saying, the problem is I think Angela's could skate to the very end at this point, which is what Quinn has been warning her about. And Quinn says, I absolutely agree, but the problem is I think Chemo could skate to the very end as well. Either one of them could make final 2 at this point in time just by not doing anything except hanging out in the house going forward. All right, we've got T-Core and Rabina talking to kind of finish this thing up. T-Core saying it's just unfair that Cam has final 2 with everyone in the house. Yeah, Cam has been playing such an active game and just strategizing and playing games more so than anyone else in this house. He's got the final 2. How unfair is it that he is so well protected? Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily that, T-Core, as much as he does have a little bit of a connection with the person who just happens to be HOH this week. But yeah, she's saying it's kind of unfair that Cam's got final twos with everyone. She's saying, telling Rabina, I mean, she's telling Rabina that Cam's issue with chemo, it goes back to Tucker. And I guess it's both that Cam was trying to work with Tucker, chemo was buddy with Tucker. I don't know. I guess a little bromance jealousy or something going on. But she's saying, yeah, it all gets back to Tucker. And so much seems to still be happening in the house that involves Tucker. She's saying that's what Cam's issue is with chemo. T-Core is saying that she's thought about it, and she thinks that Quinn is a good guy. That he just made a mistake last week. And maybe she thinks that. Maybe it's just a matter of her realizing they need to protect numbers as much as they can. You can't necessarily be getting rid of anyone just because of personal conflicts right now. But she said, yeah, he screwed up last week, but I still like the guy. Rabina saying, yeah, Quinn's put me on the block 2 times already, and I still like the guy. So be it charismatic, be it strategic positioning, they're okay with Quinn, it seems like, for right now. Rabina is saying that she feels, moving on to other people, McKenzie versus Leah. Rabina is saying she feels much closer to McKenzie than she does to Leah right now. And that she's envisioning 2 women at the end. Not necessarily saying what 2 women. I'm sure she's thinking her and T-Core would be fantastic. But she's saying she definitely feels closer to McKenzie than to Leah. T-Core saying, yeah, I like McKenzie and I'm fine with her. She said, I have respect for Leah for standing up and doing what she did as well. So she's okay with both of those ladies as well. And again, Rabina envisioning having 2 women in the final 2 and making this a women's season. And then finally, we've got Rabina and T-Core and McKenzie and Chemo still up at 4:30 in the morning, which 6:30 in the morning Houston time. Yeah, it was a long evening. They're still up at 4:30 Big Brother time, having a midnight snack 4.5 hours late and hanging out. Eventually, they sit down. I think Chemo maybe went to bed. Rabina and T-Core, they hung out a little bit, but eventually all of them back in bed or going to bed for the first time half an hour later. So yeah, 5:30 or so Big Brother time, they finally call it a night. So there you have it, guys. Chelsea's the HOH. It certainly sounds like Angela and Chemo are going up this afternoon or this morning when nominations are made. Do they stay on the block? Are they the targets? Well, that's left to be said. We're back now to only 2 targets. Regular Big Brother season means veto competition tomorrow. We've got the HOH, 2 vetoes, 3 random people playing the game. We'll see how that affects this tendency to have the veto used each and every week. Chelsea's fine with it being used this week, theoretically, supposedly. We'll see if that's the case. But yeah, we're going to have the nominations today and then tomorrow veto competition. So we'll see how it all pans out. Have a great Friday. I'll be back tomorrow morning to talk about who the noms are. Again, I think it's Angela and Chemo, but weirder things have happened in this house so far this season. Y'all have a great Friday. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Until then, SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye.